Friends, we are today with a very, you can say, minuscule view news appeared only in business standard. Uh, may seem unimportant, but it is. Uh, it talks about wealth in different communities and extension of a survey that was conducted previously. I'll analyze. Firstly, let us see what is there. It says upper caste pocket 85% share in the billionaire wealth. What does this mean? 85% of the wealth in the billionaires. But how many billionaires are there? That figure is not given. We talk about later. Then it says people from the scheduled caste comprise 6.2% of this wealth in 2022 compared to 88.4% upper caste according to the additional data. This was a survey towards tax justice and wealth redistribution in India, authored by Nitin Kumar Bharti of New York University, Lucas Chancel of Harvard Kennedy School, Thomas Piketty, and Anmol Somanchi of the Paris School of Economics. The share of OBCs is 9%, while there were no billionaires among the STs. The researchers used publicly available billionaire lists and applied manual coding. Now, disparity in wealth distribution, which is there, given in the graphs. In 2013, 80.3% was with the upper caste. Now it has gone high, 88.4%. In SCs, 17.8, reduced almost half. In SCs, it has increased significantly. Then you have another graph, relatively low enterprise ownership by the SC/STs. The workforce and the entrepreneurship. STs, they have greater double the workforce than the entrepreneurship. SCs comparatively less. In OBCs, almost the same. In others, means general category, workforce is less, entrepreneurship is more. But in OBCs, it is, you can say, it is well balanced. Assume Premji University, State of Working India, 2023. Then lowest wealth share outside billionaire list also. Those who are not billionaires, what is the share? India, marks out of 20. In OBCs, 25, 2005-6, it was this much, increased to, you can say around 20%, 25% increase is there. In SCs, again, slight increase is there. In STs, first decade increase was there and then it is constant. Lower wealth share outside billionaire list too. Now the issue is when we talk about all these communities, when we say ST and SC, all the social categories, these are constitutional categories created by the constitution. If today president declares me as a tribe, I become an ST. Big makes it a caste, I become an SC. So this kind of categorization, firstly, it is artificial. I had a whole session in the World Conference in Bhubaneswar denouncing colonial constructs, caste and tribe. We are enforcing and reinforcing the same concepts that have been troubling us. And what the Middleton, the officer of the 1921 census, he said that we criticize Indian the most for which, that is caste, we have imposed on them. He says many of the castes would have lost their identity, meaningless, because they were profession based. But firstly, we created SCs and STs, then we created OBCs, and now we have created creamy layer also. When you talk about SCs and STs, you don't talk about creamy layer. I don't find the reason why. Because all the spokespersons of SCs and STs, they are well off, they are better off, they are much, much better than the commoners among the SCs and STs, and they speak for them. But when you start with these figures, you say so many are upper caste. Question is, hardly 3 or 4% of the upper caste may be having this much wealth. Filthy rich, I call them. Majority of them are poor, even among the upper caste also. They are poor, even among the SC STs also. If their condition is such, can the government tell that hundreds of schemes which they have for the weaker sections, then what is the output? What is the outcome? So issue is not caste or tribe, upper caste or lower caste. Issue is poverty. If you are poor, you have limited resources, you have limited chances to go up. Applies to lower caste, applies to tribes, applies to OBCs, applies to anybody including upper caste. So the issue should be poverty, not the caste. And these are legal constitutional categories. These are not social categories. And when they say in the OBCs this situation is there, do you think OBC is a monolith? Similarly, if you talk about SCs, do you think SCs are a monolith? All these studies, they reinforce the claims of casteist people. Look, we are in such a state, so we must have more rights. We must have more power. We must have greater share in the development based on caste. Caste, the artificial category, a category created by the British, and because it still has political relevance, we are continuing with that. In the word conference which I am talking about, I did advocate, and I've been continuing saying so, that if at all you need any reservation, it has to be based on wealth. And they say ST, though ST has a wealth more than 1 crore, there cannot be a greater lie. Like anyone living in Delhi, in the middle class communities, even if he or she has a home house, say 300 feet or so, the cost is more than that. Cost is over 1 crore. And you will find many more such people. Many STs and many SCs and many OBCs in business, in trade, in civil services. Do you think they won't be having that much of wealth? That's unbelievable. So again, my argument is that reservation has to be. I have already in 2 of my videos I have told about what can be done in terms of reservation. Must reservations go? But now once I realize that reservation is not going to go, so I advocate that reservation must be based on poverty. And how can you judge it? People are great, they can concoct statistics. Only way out is that anybody who has done his studies in government schools deserves reservation. Today, as the situation is, 50% of the children are in government schools and 50% in private and English medium and public schools. Obviously, those who cannot afford, only they send their children to government schools. So this will serve two purposes. You will identify the genuine poor, and at the same time you will improve the quality of education throughout the country. At least I want a debate to start. कुछ नहीं हो रहा लेकिन कान पे जू नहीं रेखती किसी के. जिनके पास जॉब है, they are satisfied with their jobs. Why should they speak out? जिनके पास नहीं है, they are just worried about why they don't get the job. और जिनको भी आप देखो कास्ट बेस पे बात करता है. लोहिया जी क्या कह गए थे? जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी. इससे बड़ी गलती कहीं नहीं हो सकती. द रीजन इज reservation should be based on the criteria, not the population. Say, for example, you have civil services. So, how many OBC people are graduates, those who qualify to appear? How many SCs have graduation? How many STs have graduation? How many general category have graduation? On that should be the basis for reservation. Let us say OBCs have 20%, 20% of the graduates are OBCs. So reservation should be 20%. Say 10% SCs have. So that will promote the people to go into education first. Education first should be the rule. It is the education that makes you better humans. When I say education, it includes socialization also. That starts at home and that continues into primary and secondary education. The present system of education and the present system of home also does not let us have the proper socialization that we deserve. But still, I want that a debate must start about reservations. If it has to be there, we must realize that our model, the model we started with 75 years ago, if you think it is okay, then let it be. It may take 500 years, maybe more, for people to become equal. And if you are not satisfied with that model, you have to suggest another model. I have suggested. You can agree or you can give any other model you want. Thank you.